This week, I'm going to share with you 3 really good reasons not to follow your subject inside when you're doing surveillance. Hi, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. I'm the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, including the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance. A big problem investigators have, when you're following someone trying to get inside footage. So they pull up to a box store or bar or whatever it might be, trying to follow them inside. I'm going to give you 3 really good reasons not to. Number 1, you're going to get much better video when they come out if you're already pre-positioned. So in other words, you're already there. You have gotten your establishing video of the place, maybe the bar. Now remember, you zoom in initially on the address and the signage so that you can establish where you are, and then zoom back out to watch the area you need to. Maybe it's the entire front of the bar. A lot of times it might just be the door, that primary exit out, and then a little bit more, because when the person comes out, you don't want them to move out the door and then out of frame very quickly. So, just use your experience with dealing with videoing people and doing surveillance. But being outside rather than following them into the bar is going to give you much better footage when they exit. You're going to see how they behave, if they stop and light a cigarette, if they bend over to pick up something, if they throw trash away, and then getting to their car and getting in and out of their car and how they move. So specifically think in terms of a workers' compensation case, that may be the most important things to your client. If it's an infidelity case, remember there might be some stuff going on inside the bar your client's interested in, but what happens when people come out of a bar? A lot of times you're going to get more intimate, more touchy-feely, kissing type video outside of the bar. All right. A number 2 reason not to follow your subject into the establishment or into the place where they land is that it's going to be easier to follow them when they leave. Now, of course, yeah, if they're going to be in there for a couple hours or whatever, maybe that's not as big a deal and you can go in briefly and come back out and reestablish a position. But getting into position so that you can, like we said before, video them on their way out, but then also you've positioned your vehicle, you've taken into consideration traffic and intersections, and you're going to be able to follow them much more easily. If you're inside with them, you have to wait for them to leave. You have to time it just right so that you're not walking out the door right behind them. And then you have to get to your car and move, and you're just behind the 8 ball right from the jump, right? And also the fact, let's face it, they get up, they go out, you give them however long you feel is necessary to get ahead of you so you don't step right on top of them. You walk out the door and boom, they're just standing there smoking a cigarette. So now you're going to your car with them right there. It's just easier to be outside. Easy is not always the right thing, but I'm just telling you that's a good reason to stay outside and not follow your subject inside. The number 3 reason, biggest and best reason, knowing what your client needs, what they need and what they want. That's going to be really establishing for you. So if you're working a workers' compensation case, they may just need to get the person driving. They just may need to get the person opening a car with their right hand. They may get the car door with their right hand. They may just need to get the person taking steps, alternating feet, or not using a handrail. Remember, this is the stuff you're going to get outside of the bar or establishment mostly. There are exceptions. Now, if they need a lifting and you can go into a box store and get them hefting a 20 or 50-pound bag of dog food, that's very helpful and useful. But notice the difference between whether you go in or whether you stay out is based on what your client needs. When you're working infidelity cases, your client may want more inside footage. They may have in their mind that that's where things are going to happen. So establishing and having your client establish the baseline with their spouse. So say a woman hires you because she believes her husband is cheating, and specifically maybe with the bartender in a place. If the husband has secured promises to his wife that he doesn't see her anymore, this is over, it's not a big deal, and he promises her he's not even going to the bar, for your client, him arriving at the bar and going inside and being inside for an hour or 90 minutes or 2 hours may be enough. She may not need to see what goes on inside. Other clients they're going to want to know what goes on inside. So notice, don't go inside if your client doesn't need or is not expecting that footage, because you're just going to draw attention to yourself, a better chance of getting burned with no upside because nothing in there is what the client needs. Now, these are 3 good reasons not to go inside, but every case is individual. If you need more information and details about surveillance, I do have the Investigator's Ultimate Guide to Surveillance. You can get that over at ShadowAnyone.com. There's even, if you click through there and check out the product, some free preview sections to that video, that streaming video course, so that it's available 24/7. But if you want to see some previews of it, you can check those out if you go over to ShadowAnyone.com as well. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with Shadow Anyone. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.